All right, everybody, welcome back to Number One Leading Ladies. My name is Kaylee McMahon. Y'all know me. You hear me every week. We have two awesome ladies on the show today. Normally, we go over real estate. We go over kind of some stuff that we've heard of a million times. Today, I'm actually really excited because we have two guests that are going to be talking about the dental industry. I used to be in the dental industry, but they're actually business owners now. And we always talk about several different things about how business works and challenges we overcome. But this is about women uplifting each other instead of tearing each other down. So obviously it's great to see two women working side by side. So we have Shira and Kaylee, or Kari, Kaylee, Shira, and Kari, all on the podcast today. And I'll go ahead and let you guys introduce yourself because I won't do it justice.
Sure. Kari, do you want to start?
Yeah. My name is Kari Helmer. I am a dental assistant. We still actually work in a dental office. I work in the front office at our dental office now. And I've been in the dental industry for about a little over 20 years. And Shira works in my office with me as well. And I'll let her tell a little bit about herself.
So my name's Shira Newman. I'm a dental hygienist, and I met Kari. Obviously, I had just moved to Dallas from New York City in May of 2019. Met Kari. She was like my work wife. And, we kind of kept getting signs that we should start a company. And then one day we were just like, you know what? Let's just take the leap. And so Growth Mindset Dental Consultants was born.
Awesome. I mean, I'm so excited to have y'all on here, like I said, because it's a little bit different. So I'll have you do hopefully more of the talking than I do. The biggest challenge that a lot of people don't understand as entrepreneurs is when we get into business, a lot of people look at, being an entrepreneur is, oh, you have free time, you can do whatever you want, you can yada, yada, yada. Like it's not the truth, or it's like this pretty shiny object. And again, it's not the truth, especially in the beginning. So in reality, how it normally works is when you're starting a business, we bootstrap, we stay with family members, we me, put my first deal on a credit card, whatever, and then you start getting some traction and moving forward. So can y'all kind of give our audience a little bit of perspective in your business model, what it kind of took to get through those tough times and then start getting traction to where you're at now?
Sure. So for us, the hardest part was really dedicating time. Like you said, most people are like, oh, they think that an entrepreneur, it's so great. You're your own boss. You make your own hours. They don't realize that you're never off the clock and you're working like 100-hour weeks, just all the time to get what you need done, completed. And so around May of this year, for Kari and I, it's just been nonstop, and we've just been creating content, writing and editing, and just basically compiling everything that makes up Growth Mindset. Because what we're doing, it's basically training dental staff on how to work together so that when you go to the dentist, you're seeing the same people every time. You're not having a ton of turnover, that they understand how the mouth relates to the rest of the body and how the dental treatment that you get can impact your oral health. And so we've kind of wrapped everything into this nice little package to be able to train and, present to dentists and kind of be able to help them implement and integrate it into their current systems.
Yeah. So when you started getting traction, what would you say, what was your sign, I guess, that,
that we should do this?
No, that you're getting traction.
That we're getting traction.
What was your sign?
Everything just began aligning. And I know that sounds cliche, but, it would be small stuff. We would meet the right people. People would come into our lives and be like, oh, let me help you with this.
Yeah. This is a great idea, what y'all are doing, and I want to be involved.
Yeah. And people are just getting excited about it. And everyone who we've spoken to, they see how passionate we are about what we do, and they see a need for it. And we saw a niche for it, and we're just going to slide it. And, we just kept getting, every time we would complete something, we'd kind of just take a pause and we'd rest and be like, okay, what's the next step? And then the next step would kind of just show itself to us and be like, all right, here's what we do now. And I think female intuition is so strong. When you're doing the right thing. Most people don't trust it.
Yeah.
And they don't go with it. But if you do, listen, and it's there for a reason. If you listen to it, it'll never steer you wrong. And that's how we both have been operating this whole time.
So whenever you do a new customer acquisition, how does that work?
You can go. You can take it. Or do you want me to?
Go ahead.
Okay. So, sorry, I feel like I'm like hogging the microphone.
No,
Don't
okay.
mean to.
She's the talker of the group.
The extrovert between us.
For sure.
Basically, they know that their practice isn't working in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's their team doesn't get along. And the dental field is very different from the medical field in that if you're in the medical field, your office is huge. You're working with a ton of different people and personalities. In a dental office, you're working with 5 or 6 people, and you guys want to kill each other for like 99% of your day on a bad day. On a good day, you are cohesive, you get the job done, everyone's on the same page, and the goal is to really keep everyone in that mentality and get them to a place where they're like, I never want to leave the current position that I'm at. And their dentists were never taught how to be managers or to manage a business. And so most of them do it ineffectively. And so that's why I have business experience. And I'm like, oh my God, Kari understands just from working in the dental field for 2 decades already that there needs to be a change. And so we kind of combined her knowledge with my managerial experience. And we're like, okay, we're going to fix the dental field. And it's going to be just an easy, like German run, like perfect, efficient model for how a workplace should be. And then we're going to teach them everything that they need to know so that they are on the top of their game in the field.
And we're going to heal the world while we do it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of our goal too, is not just to help these dentists run their business better, but to help them treat their patient population better and to help heal them as a whole.
Exactly. And people. So the people that find us, the dentists that find us, they're looking for more out of their practice, whether it's to keep their team or they're like, you know what, studies have shown us that the mouth is just integral to the overall health of the body. I need to educate my staff on this. What dental procedures am I currently doing? What are my protocols and procedures that are currently might not be the greatest for my patient's overall health? It's those people that are finding us, going to our website, and then getting a conversation started with Kari and really her kind of walking them through the process of, kind of booking us. And then it's me who's coaching the clients and the staff and doing like staff overviews and everything. And then kind of circling back with Kari to put everything together.
Cool. So when you guys were getting started with all of the content creation and all of this, I know that normally we wear multiple hats, right? So what was probably the biggest challenge that came early on that you were able to fix to try to be able to have your brain and your skills be focused in what you're good at and not have to do all the other crap?
Sure.
Yeah, I can speak to that a little bit. I think one of my biggest challenges has been that we still work full-time for a dental office. And full-time in a dental world is different than full-time in a corporate world. I mean, full-time in a dental office is around 32 hours a week. But we still do that on a daily basis. And then, like she said, we're coming home and trying to put on a different hat and create this content and create this whole program for these dentists to follow. And it's been hard to separate the two, not separate the two, but been hard to do both at one time, I think. So
that. And, there are going to be days when you come home, you're dead tired and you need a break. And those are never days that you should try and create because nothing good is going to come of it. You're going to be frustrated with yourself because you're pushing yourself too hard. And you want days where you wake up inspired. And I know that's not going to be every day, obviously. But you don't want to do it on days when you're run down. And so, Kari and I might not have been working together on the same days for growth mindset. She might be working one day. She knows I had a really bad day clinically, and she'll just be like, okay, I'm going to work tonight. Obviously, you don't, take the night for yourself. And just with the time, I also have my hand in another company that I basically started that does very well. And so I'm basically working 100 hours a week all the time, and I'm happy with it. I'm a workaholic. And I'm like, you know what? Everyone should have it's like the millennial hustle. You have your hand in multiple pots, making sure that you basically diversified your sources of income, your contribution to the world. But yeah, staying inspired consistently is never easy, I would say.
Yeah. We just have to create boundaries with all the separation from work and doing what we do on the side. So
yeah, exactly.
Create some good, healthy boundaries.
I guess it's great to see, two partners working together because as you're discussing the challenges that all of us face going through the beginning stages of, oh God, I got to pay a ghostwriter. I don't have the funds for that right now. Or I've got to bootstrap my business. And you've got two incomes now, and there's different added additions, I guess, that having two partners have together, which is great to be able to show that, because the accelerator that I'm in right now, usually they'll say that, if a good relationship exists and you can do a partnership relationship, it will grow quite a bit faster. So, I'll attest to that, having to bootstrap and do everything myself. For sure, if I had someone to content create while I'm over here meeting with people and raising funds and, whatever, it would have gone a lot faster. So that's awesome that y'all have each other. And if anyone has, a relationship with somebody who I wouldn't really recommend family. So someone else that's close, it may be a good avenue to look at when you're getting started if you want that ramp up period to be less time. So that's getting going. That's your challenges. Now, what would you say, not challenges, but how you overcame those initial humps or bumps in the road, I guess. Now, two other questions that we usually ask, I think one of them may be a really good one. What would you say has been your biggest lesson?
Yeah. You can say it.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, so basically to just, I know, like I said, how everything aligned with that for us, kind of. It's really just trusting the timing of everything. And I think a lot of people, they have an idea of what they want, but they're afraid to try and go get it. And I always tell people, I'm like, the universe wants to play with you. But unless you ask, you're not going to get anything. So, we tell all of our clients, you need to put pen to paper. I know it sounds antiquated, but tell me what you want. What does your dream practice look like? What does your dream business look like? How many employees do you have? How much revenue do you want to have per year? How much profit do you want to have per year? What are some goals? Write it down and keep it on a piece of paper and believe that they're already yours. And I promise you, they will unfold.
Be intentional. Be intentional about what you want.
Yeah. And I think one of my favorite quotes is just if you don't live your life with intention, you're a victim of circumstance. And so many people are victims of circumstance because they're not leading with intention. And when you own your own business, you don't realize that everything is coming from you. If you're unfocused and unguided, your business will be too. If you wake up in the morning and it's just listen, this is what's going to happen for me today. Today's going to be a good day. These clients are going to come walk through my door. Don't think about how they're going to do it. Don't think about anything. Just put it out there. Might not happen today. Might not happen tomorrow. But it will happen eventually. And we've seen that firsthand with this. We've had pretty big goals set. And when we least expected them, they came to us. And we were like, all right, this is pretty great.
Timing and patience. Waiting for those things to happen and allowing them to happen as they should has been challenging.
Huge. Well, yeah. And here I'm just Kari, you flow, you don't force. You flow, you don't force. Don't try and force something. Yeah. Because it's not meant to be.
That's really true. And it really is something that I learned being in this lockdown situation, because at this time of this recording, it's kind of over, but the lockdown's for sure over, or at least in Texas it is, having to be stuck at home, figuring out a way that I can, there's only so many times a day I can call the freaking lenders and go, who's defaulting on their payment, or so many times a day I can do this, that, and the other. But, at the same time, you have to take care of you have to have balance. So stoicism is just right in line with what you're saying. So having to learn how to, like you said, let things come to you instead of go to it. And it kind of will feel like you're getting less business, but actually over time, you're able to enjoy more of what's important to you. And then it just fits itself in. You're not... Yeah, I think you're right. That's a really great lesson that I am on that journey to learn myself. So
it's a hard one. It's a hard one.
It is, because in moments of even like financial stress, for example, you're going, okay, how are we going to do this? I don't have an answer. You don't have to have an answer all the time, but for some reason, if you know what you want and you're verbalizing it and you're meeting with people and it's coming out of your face, and people are listening to it, like it will come to you for sure. You just have to ask for it, like you said. I mean, that's great. What would y'all say along the lines of biggest lesson? What would you say has been your biggest win?
Biggest win.
Yeah. Just this last week.
Yeah.
All right.
Cheers. She's so great at speaking about all this.
Yeah, my blushing. So, there is a doctor called Dr. Bradley Bale and a nurse practitioner named Amy Doneen basically founded this method to predict how at risk you are for heart attack and stroke. And they basically invented a method to reverse that. Okay? It's very huge. They have this massive symposium multiple times a year in the fall and the spring called the Bale Doneen Preceptorship. Feel free to tag them if you want. Called the Bale Doneen Preceptorship, and thousands of doctors, dentists from all over the world literally attend these just to learn what these people, have basically curated and see the research that they've provided that they're literally able to reverse cardiovascular disease. So, they were always the top priority for us. We wanted to be in with them because everything we do, connecting the mouth to the body, it's more relating to the heart and the cardiovascular system and the brain. They don't do that. Than anything else that we really focus on. So we're kind of pinpointed there. And so our goal from the beginning, we made a little vision board and we put, we're going to be partnered with Bale Doneen. We didn't think how it would happen. We just kind of put it out there and did our work. And then they asked for, Kari just out of the blue was just like, you know what? I'm going to email them and just start a conversation. We had no expectation going into this. She basically tells them 2 lines about us. And they're like, we would like to take a meeting with you, as soon as you can. And we're like, okay, great. We set it up, and they were basically like, this is fantastic. You guys are going to be an excellent resource. We would love to partner with you. And so we're just like, this is literally what we've been working towards, because the dentists that go to this, we want to work with because they're oral systemically minded. So they're already looking for people like us. And so it's just an avenue, to clients and business that we know that we're in perfect alignment with. And I think we thought that this would be happening way further down the road.
Right.
And we didn't think it would happen out of nowhere, random day in October. It literally just happened 2 weeks ago. But we were so thrilled that they basically put their full support behind us. We're up on their website, with a nice little blurb, and we just couldn't be more thrilled that they basically have faith in what we're doing.
Massive potential in us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope you guys have worked out a referral agreement already.
We did.
Yeah?
So, big win.
Yeah.
Big win for growth.
You're like, give me the money. I mean, that's awesome. So, so it sounds like we need to do a vision boarding session together, because I try to do it right before, kind of like Q4. Here's what we did. Here's what we need to accomplish in the last, 3 months or whatever, to project what next year will be like. And again, this is all new to me, putting it on paper and putting numbers to it. And I'm kind of guesstimating, but I mean, at least you'll land amongst the stars. But I mean, that's awesome. So for me on my vision boards, I have stuff on there. Like my first one I ever made, that within the first, I think, year, I honestly, everything on there is within a rent, a borrow, a purchase, a relationship, within one like thing, everything on this vision board. So I had to think bigger. So it sounds like y'all need to do another vision board that's thinking bigger.
Oh, but you wait, that was only a small little thing on it. There's a ton else. But yeah, I think most people are confined by their limitations that they set on themselves. And, you know, like you said, like dream big. And if you fail, you'll fall amongst the stars. Like, honestly, like, why not you? I told Kari that. I'm like, why not us? Yeah. Go with that mentality.
Yeah.
And everything.
People ask me why. I'm like, why not? That's the answer. That's too funny. So that's a huge win. And then I think one thing that I picked up on that you guys were talking about that I think every entrepreneur that's listening to this can really pick up from this. It's something I just learned literally this week. And I took it from somebody else because it's not my ideas. It never is. It's somebody else's. But if you ever have heard of the Dream 100 or whatever, it's a Russell Brunson thing. And basically, okay, what top 100 people already have a business and they already have your audience or your people? So for me, it's going, okay, so women that invest, Elena Cardone, for example, invest her. There's certain groups that they already have people that are ready to invest or that's their interest level, and then being able to like take traffic or partner or do things collaboratively with them. And as women, especially if there are women listening to this, that's like our strongest quality that we have is that we're typically more collaborative than men. They're more autocratic, where they're like, I'm the leader, I'm the boss, you go through me, and we'd rather have a seat at the table for everybody and kind of take a poll, of what everybody wants. So that is a great win. Congratulations, ladies.
Hey, thank you.
Absolutely. So we have about 4 minutes left in our session. So what I'd like to do is give you guys a little bit of time or gals, a little bit of time to discuss whatever it is that you want that is important to you about your business. And then I'll wrap up just getting some contact information, how whoever's listening or watching can get a hold of you if they'd like to work with y'all.
Sure. I'm sorry. Of course I want you to.
We're going to work on this. She needs to, some work. Public speaking needs to be a...
Oh my God, come to Toastmasters with me. It's so uncomfortable. They blow a horn in your face.
Yeah, please.
Whereas I'm like, oh, give me a mic. So it's just two polar opposites, and that's why we work well together.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think our mission with all of this is what Kari said earlier. We literally want to heal the world. And there's so much that the general population doesn't realize that your mouth is making you sick. And there's no good way to say it, but people don't realize how important the health of your mouth is to the health of the rest of your body and how the rest of your body can affect your mouth. And there's a saying, it was originally quoted by this guy named Doug Thompson, who's very big in the oral systemic world. And he's just like, listen, you can be sick with a healthy mouth, but you can't be healthy with a sick mouth. Yes, healthy with a sick mouth. Same things. I got to turn around in my head. So, I think our big thing is educating everyone to know what you should want out of a dental provider so that you're receiving your best care possible, and knowing, oh my gosh, do I have silver fillings? Do I have root canals? Do I have tooth-colored fillings that have BPA in them that I could just be ingesting over time? We saw just more and more research that was super concerning, and we're like, no one knows this, and it's not really talked outside of the dental community. And unless you have a good provider that's willing to take the extra steps and be like, oh, hey, listen, your silver filling is leaking mercury, and it could cause X, Y, and Z. This is maybe why you've been feeling this. They're just going to go through life feeling sick. And then their doctors don't think to ask about dental. And so the root cause is never figured out. And so what we're trying to do is you get the root cause. We're going to help doctors identify the root cause, and we're going to help them practice more basically holistically and in a way that's more biocompatible with your body, so that their practice thrives, giving them the tools that they need on their end to get more patients, to bring in more money, to keep their team, but to also make the world basically a safer and healthier place.
And I mean, that's huge. I mean, a very tiny percentage of dentists are actually doing this, actually know about this, they're educated in it. Part of our goal too is to educate the dentists, educate the world to heal the world. You know, we want to get more dentists on the forefront of this technology that's not things that they were taught in dental school. So.
Exactly.
I was going to ask, do you guys ever consider speaking or being involved in dental school? Because the only dentists
one of our goals.
The only dentists I ever met were homeopaths, like I worked for 10 years ago, and literally someone the other day told me, oh, I've got a sweet sensitivity in my molar, and I go, do you have gutta percha in there? And they're like, yeah, and I'm like, it's probably the gutta percha, honestly. That causes just weird sensitivities. It's not hot, it's not cold. It's related to materials, you know what I mean, that are not natural. So, that's awesome being in dental schools to kind of start early.
It's just that, I don't know if we would scare them.
Why don't you teach us this?
Honestly, like, I say this because I know it for a fact. Kari and I are going to revolutionize the dental field. Like, we truly are. And, the ADA still says that silver fillings are the we know for a fact that they are harmful. And so I'm just like, the old systems of dentistry that are still the big players, it's going to kind of be hard to maneuver around them, but we're going to do it.
Oh, you can.
And I think any dental schools that, would have us speak, I think it would just be a good alternative, like seeing both sides of how you can possibly practice. We want to get young.
You'll always deal with those old farts, you know what I mean, that just are stuck in their ways. Like in my industry right now, I'm dealing with it with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, the way that they're doing lending. It's assuming quite a bit of things that just don't even matter in this market anymore. And anyway, so certain things with we want to digitize certain processes, and we don't need necessarily a manager involved anymore. We just have cameras and automated thing, and they just won't loan for a property that wants to operate that way, or they don't let us use blockchain technology to do Bitcoin just all kinds of stuff that. So it's going to take till they die, or for us to find a weasel a way around it and say, well, this is actually beneficial to you. So, I mean, you guys are definitely going to revolutionize the industry if that's what you're doing, for sure.
Yeah. Yep. It's our goal. That's our goal. It's our big picture. Big picture goal.
Yep. That's awesome. So if anybody listening to this podcast and then also the YouTube channel, if they're watching it right now and they wanted to get a little bit of information, say if they have a family member that owns a dental practice and they're like, I'm constantly seeing staff walk in and out the door. I don't know who's working there this week, or maybe if they have a bad experience, something like that, and they're thinking, okay, what could we do to improve that practice? How can they engage with y'all or get a hold of you?
So our website, it's growthmindsetdental.com, and then you can send an email to hello@growthmindsetdental.com. And find us on Instagram.
Oh, good.
Do the whole slide into our DMs thing. We're all platforms, just anyway, but website would be great.
Awesome. Well, thank you, everybody, for spending the time with us, ladies, today to talk a little bit about entrepreneurship in the dental world, which is cool. And one thing I want to add in there real quick, if you're able to watch the video on this, just like myself, you can just tell that they have experience in the dental industry because they literally are fresh out of an office. One thing that I've seen in different industries, so obviously you have real knowledge. You're not just touting, I read 5 books, or, I have some fake education from some websites online or whatever. You have years of experience, like real life experience. I've even worked in industries where I had managers who literally had never done my job, had never done what I did, and we're having to listen to them. That's ridiculous. So I'm really happy to have y'all on today and to have you host to share your real world expertise with our listeners today.
Of course. Thank you for having us.
Thanks, Kaylee.
You got it. Thank you, ladies.